Hello YouTubers, this is another rant. This is basically about 1080p in 720. Yeah. Apparently the console war that is going on right now, instead of focusing on the DDoS attacks, which is great that Microsoft and Sony are teaming up together, people still want to focus on the whole like, oh, 1080p and 720. Apparently we went back to the 8-bit war and the 16-bit war. Somehow we went back to that, which is very, very weird on how we went back to a console war that started, what, 20 fucking years ago? And now that's back. Alright, another console war of fucking nothing that doesn't mean shit. Okay, so I'm going to explain something to you for the people who still think that both systems can't run at 1080p or just the PlayStation can run at 1080p. Here's the thing, I have both fucking systems, and here's the thing, I can tell you right now, both systems can run at 1080p and 60 frames for certain games. Other games have to run at 1080p and 30 frames. On PS4 and Xbox One, same thing with the 1080p and 60 frames. Both systems can do it. Same thing with 1080p and 30 frames. Both systems can do it. Then there are other game developers that realize that gameplay is more essential to have a better gameplay experience. So they lower it down to 720 to either 30 or 60 frames. So that way they can add more of that stuff in there to make the game a little bit more detailed. But somehow there are the idiots out there, and no, I'm not going to point fingers or say who it is, but they are out there who just keep saying that Xbox is only a 720 console, and most likely just don't even do their research. It's the same thing with people who are on Xbox. They say the PlayStation isn't a really good system, which, here's the thing, both systems are not perfect yet. Both systems have their pros and their cons. Both systems have great games and shitty games. Both systems are not fucking perfect yet. Would you like to know why? They just came out. It's the same thing with the 360 and the PS3. When those fucking things came out, they were horrible. They weren't perfect. It's the same thing with the PS2 and the Xbox original. They did not have a perfect launch. There's no such thing as a perfect launch. Of course, that can be argued with the Wii U, apparently, but no. No system has a perfect launch. Again, 1080p and 720p don't mean shit. If the fucking game is great, that's all that matters. But no, then there's the idiot gamers out there, which again, not pointing fingers, but they're the dumb ones who think having a game at 1080p is what makes a game great, which apparently Call of Duty is a prime example that no, it isn't. Having the same fucking game year after year at 1080p and 60 frames does not make a game fucking terrific. It really, really doesn't. A great game with great gameplay, great game mechanics, that's a great fucking game. I understand that some people want the 1080p and 60 frames for every game. Guess what? That cannot happen for these systems until developers can figure out to work their way around it, which here's the thing, some game developers have found a way around it, which is, listen here, less shit in the game so they can run it at 1080p and 60 frames or smaller levels and smaller areas. In the past games that have done that, that's the only way they were able to fucking do it. Preferably shooters, for instance. Now I know a lot of people are saying, well, a lot of games that come out for the Xbox One go at 720, and the same thing could be said about the PS4. A lot of those games go at 720 and 60 frames. Yes, the Xbox One gets more 720 and 60 frame games. However, that does not fucking matter. I don't know where people are getting this at that, oh, 720 is horrible. No, it isn't. 720 on the Xbox One and 720 on the 360, PS3, and PlayStation 4 are very, very different from each other. And I know you can argue that, but they are. 720 is very fucking noticeable on a PlayStation 3 and an Xbox 360. 720 on an Xbox One and a PS4 is slightly noticeable if you're just going around. And a lot of the times people think these games are fucking 1080p until the developers mention that they are 720, and that's when people want to bitch. So again, people, it does not matter if a game is at 1080p or 720. What matters is that the game is fucking fun, and if it's great, and it's actually good. And I know I said great and then said good. Same fucking meaning, but still, as long as the game is great, that's all that fucking matters. Somehow, some of these gamers that are coming out now, which again, I get it, they're at a young age, so they don't quite understand what's great. And the ironic thing is, they'll go to a game and say, this game looks like shit because it's not running at 1080p. yet they'll go right to fucking Minecraft. Do not, I just don't know how that works. I don't get it. I honestly don't. But again, just because a game is at 720 doesn't mean it's going to be shit. Dead Rising 3 is at 720, and the fucking thing looks amazing. Fucking Sunset Overdrive, 900p, yet the game looks fucking amazing. The game looks amazing. It's not what you fucking do with the pixels, it's what you do with the gameplay. It's the gameplay. That's what matters. Ugh. But some of you young gamers out there who think that this matters, or some of you gamers who have been around since maybe Xbox Original and PlayStation 2, somehow, I don't know what happened. Maybe you just realized that, well, PC is able to have really great graphics, so maybe the consoles should too. No, that's not going to work that way. Even when consoles do advance in the next 10 years, there's going to still be, the PC is still going to be outnumbering us. That's just it. PC is going to always over fucking, obviously look way better than a fucking console. That's just how it's always going to be. However, for those who are saying that get a PC now, if you're going to get a PC, I would suggest you better save up a lot of fucking money because they're expensive. For me to even get a good PC gaming PC, holy shit. I spent over $1,000 here. They're not cheap. And for those who are saying that PC is better than consoles, I'm going to say this. For someone who plays on all fucking systems and all platforms, I'm going to say no. I believe console is better. You want to know why? Because you pay. And guess what? I don't have to buy a fucking upgraded graphics card to play a certain game that I want to fucking play. Guess what? I just buy the disc, put it in the fucking console, and I'm playing it. So again, I don't know how that happens. Yes, does PC look better? Yes, of course. Now again, back onto the fucking pixels. Again, to all you gamers out there, it's not the fucking pixels that make a game great. It's the goddamn gameplay. That's what makes a game great. So for those who keep bitching about it, saying that the Xbox One can only run at 720p, do your fucking research. And the same thing can be said about those who are going on saying only PlayStation can't run at 1080p. Do your fucking research, please, because both systems run at 1080p and 720. Both systems have certain games that are able to do it. Other games, they have to sacrifice it for frame rate, so that way they can have a better game experience. And sometimes they just want to put more shit in the game. They have to sacrifice resolution, sacrifice frame rate to do that. That's what Dead Rising did. It's what a whole bunch of other games did on the PlayStation. I forget which one was the biggest one that people bitched about, but still. Stop. It does not matter how the game looks. It's how the game plays and how the game is. That's the only fucking thing that matters.